Okay, let's get going.
But you were
Councilman Leibel. All right, this is, we're convening the Fremont City Council Laws, Rules, and Ordinance Committee. The committee members include Councilman Sleek from the 2nd Ward, Councilman Leibel from the 4th Ward, Councilwoman Reese, who's one of the at-large council members, and myself, John Elder. Okay? We're here to hear people speak in support of the proposed resolution. The resolution recognizing June as Immigrant Heritage Month, underscoring Fremont's values and beliefs, acknowledging the history of migration in Fremont, celebrating the contributions of immigrants to the local economy and development, appreciating ongoing local support for immigrants, and urging all federal agencies and their employees, officers, and agents to conduct themselves in accordance with the highest standards already set by the U.S. federal government and its Constitution in the city of Fremont. Okay? So we called this meeting with the idea of eventually bringing it to council and vote on it. This is kind of the process that we do to get to that point. I was thinking about that this morning. After I got elected to office, a former student from the 80s contacted me and wished me congratulations, and his comment was, welcome to the sausage making process. So the point being is that this may not end the way we hope, as soon as we hope to do it, but it doesn't mean it's the end. It's always a way to revisit things and redo things, okay? So, to start, my only rules of this is that if you're a resident of the city of Fremont, you're more than welcome to speak. If you're not, no offense, you're not. You're not one of my constituents. So you need to vote for me, each one, okay? We're going to keep it to a time limit. And I know quite a few of you, one person in particular, I thought maybe would be here, would never abide by the time limit, so I think we'll be all set. Okay, if you don't know who that person I'm referring to, just talk to them. Okay? So, that's the, I'd like to go first. State your name.
Hi, my name is Mark Heller. I am not a resident, but I'm here on behalf of Justice for Migrant Women, for the person you were referring to, I think.
No, somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else. Totally somebody else.
So I'm a legal consultant with Justice for Migrant Women, a nonprofit headquartered here in Fremont. Additionally, I'm an Ohio attorney with almost 50 years of experience representing people in immigration, employment, and civil rights. Justice for Migrant Women and People for Peace and Justice support this resolution that honors Immigrant Heritage Month and celebrates immigrant contributions to the city of Fremont. I think the most important thing about the resolution is that it sends a message that Fremont is a city that welcomes everyone, a place where everyone will be treated with dignity and respect, and anyone who migrates here will have an opportunity to be in a safe and welcoming environment. Clearly, the resolution does not change the law, as immigration law is federal law and is governed by Congress and the executive branch. The resolution does send a symbolic message and offers recommendations to ensure the safety of everyone in the community. Just as background, there are about 600,000 immigrants in Ohio, which is about 5% of the population. They pay over $7 billion in taxes, and they have $18.6 billion in spending power. Over 37,000 immigrant entrepreneurs have started business in Ohio. We believe the resolution is also consistent with Fremont's 2019 to 28 Economic Growth and Development Plan, which includes being recognized regionally as a city that has a lot of opportunities because of its location near other larger cities and transportation hubs, but also because there's it's more reasonable to locate. There's more opportunity here for business to expand. In order to achieve these goals, Fremont needs to continue to be a place where everyone, no matter where they came from, can thrive. I worked out here for many years as a farm worker attorney. We had an office over in Krogan, so I worked here for over a decade, 6 months of the year in Fremont. So I'm familiar with the community here, and it was always very welcoming to everyone that I came into contact with the farm workers that came here. Justice for Migrant Women is an anti-violence organization and advocates for solutions that address the root causes of violence, including scapegoating of immigrants and newcomers. Justice for Migrant Women believe this resolution does address several root causes of violence. And finally, if the council would approve this resolution, I think it sends a really strong message that Fremont remains a tight-knit, supportive, and safe community, cares about its residents, invests its resources in the local community, keeps everyone safe, and treats people with respect and dignity, welcomes people from all over the world, and all this while honoring and recognizing immigrants' contributions to the city of Fremont. Justice for Migrant Women and People for Peace and Justice therefore respectfully request that the council consider this resolution and pass it. Thank you.
Good evening, members of council. My name is Tammy Calhoun, and I live here in Fremont. I'm here tonight to support this resolution. I chose this city. It wasn't an accident. My family are California transplants to Fremont and to Ohio. My husband got a job opportunity because we moved to Fremont in 2001 and we never left. We came from the central San Joaquin Valley, and if anyone's familiar with the area, it is a very large rural agricultural area that depends heavily on immigrant workers and families. So the idea that immigrants are woven into the fabric of the community wasn't new to us. What was new was finding a city that actually tried to live up to its motto, where people come first. Because it doesn't say some people, it doesn't say people who have been here the longest or people who were born here, it says people. My kids grew up here, they're adults now, and a big part of why we put roots down in Fremont was the community's diversity and the sense that people genuinely cared about each other. Our immigrant neighbors built lives here, they've raised families here, they've opened businesses here. They're as much a part of the city as any of us. And I think it's worth noting that it is Immigrant Heritage Month. What better time for our city leadership to make a statement about who we are and what the city stands for. And I think the resolution is exactly that statement. I've been here long enough to know that what makes Fremont special doesn't happen by accident. It takes people showing up, looking out for each other. This resolution is a chance for our leadership to show up too. So I'm asking that you please support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cassandra Tucker, and I am here to support this resolution. My family immigrated here as a part of the Great Migration. They migrated here in the 1950s from Birmingham, Alabama, because they wanted a better life for their unborn grandchildren and their children to attend school. Being born and raised in Fremont has afforded me the opportunity to go to school with, to play with the Gonzaleses, I have looked at names the Isasis, the Lozanos, the Casillas, the Sanchez families, and more. As kids, we did not see color. I know we always say now we see color, but we grew up on Front Street, we grew up off of Ferris Street, we grew up on Dickinson Street, we grew up here in Bidwell, and we played together. We went to school together, we graduated together, and a lot of them are still functioning here now. They are business people, their families are hard workers, and we just know that them being a part of our community is help to make our community thrive. I chose to stay here in Fremont and raise my children. I wanted to move to Columbus, I wanted to go to a larger city, but I knew I had 3 boys. I needed to have a community that would surround them and help me raise them. My 3 boys have transitioned out to 7 grandchildren, and we choose to stay here and raise them. My family now is a multi-racial family, and we're blessed to be that. So I am really asking that you allow us to continue to embrace our immigrant community, to recognize what they bring to our community. And it's not, I heard someone say previously, there's so much violence and crime with them. That's not true. If you look at data, that does not hold out. And one of the scriptures I I read often, and what keeps me grounded and where I am is making 25, 40, 30, or 45. What you do is really sit down. You've done it to me. Does that mean that we have to entertain things that are not suitable for our community? No. Does that mean we need to treat people fairly? Yes. Does that mean that we reject people because they don't look like us? No. We have to be a community that continues to open doors, that will continue to allow differences, that will continue to allow community, which is common unity, to come in and to be beneficial to this community. So I'm asking you to help to support this resolution, and as president of the Fremont NAACP, we back this resolution. Thank you.
My name's Margaret Wolf. I live at 810 Clinton Street, and public speaking is not my strong suit. So I've written some things down. It's very short. I worked most of my career at Heinz, and over the years I worked with many, many immigrants from Mexico, Poland, Jordan, Israel. Heinz was happy to have them, and we were very lucky to have them. One immigrant in particular started out as a migrant, coming up with his family year after year as a child to work in the fields. His family eventually decided to move to Fremont permanently because of the economic opportunities and the welcoming atmosphere of Fremont. As a young man then, he started working for Heinz. He worked his way up and became a lead person in several different departments. He was an inspiration, and he was an asset to Heinz. And this is just one of the many success stories of immigrants coming to Fremont. I want Fremont to remain the welcoming city that it has always been, so for this reason, I hope that this resolution is accepted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Mertz O'Neill, and I was born and raised in Fremont, and I spent my working life in hospitality industry. I lived away for a long time. I moved back to Fremont about 8 years ago, and I support this resolution because of my interactions working with and for people like Margaret from over 20 different countries around the world. I came to know many of them well, and always admired their spirit and determination to improve their lives. The sacrifices they make to come here are unimaginable to most Americans. Leaving family behind, learning a new language, adapting to a new culture, working honestly and nonstop for their chance at inclusion and freedom. I met two gentlemen from Myanmar who worked the sushi counter at the local Kroger. They were my coworkers when I was there. And they came here when their country was taken over through a military coup. And as Christians in a Muslim nation ruled by strong men, they felt unsafe, with chances of persecution becoming more and more likely. They fled to the U.S. and were granted asylum. These two are among the many hardworking immigrants and friends I have ever known. They and all of our immigrant neighbors and friends deserve our respect, our appreciation, and our support. They are an asset to our community, and by passing this resolution, Fremont would be rolling out the modern day equivalent of the old welcome wagon. And that's why I support Immigrant Heritage Month and this resolution. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Juanita Gutierrez. I wrote a little something here. I'm not good at speaking either, but here I go. My name is Juanita Gutierrez, and my husband is Manuel. Together we have raised 4 children here in the town of Fremont. We've been here since 1979. I can also tell you that I have 11 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. What a better way to raise a family, an extended family here in this beautiful town. All of my 4 children are bilingual, so they're very fluent in their English and Spanish. And I have 5 grandchildren that are also very fluent in their Spanish and English. My grandchildren can actually have a conversation with their grandparents. They are non-English speakers. I was born and raised here in Fremont, but lived in Betsville. Although I was born, my grandchildren, my children were born at the hospital as well as where I was born here at Memorial. My father came from Mexico, and my mother was born in Texas. She was raised in Mexico, so she didn't know the English language either. Once my parents married, they entered the migrant street. They went to La Mesa, Texas, and they were picking cotton. After a while, they heard about coming up north, as many families had done before. And once they got here, they were picking the crops, our regular crops, which is cucumbers, tomatoes, whatever. My dad loved this area. He loved it so much that he decided to stay here in Ohio. While his family, the rest of our family members decided that they were going to go back, and they told him, let's go, it's going to be cold here. And what are you going to do here? So my dad said, no, I think this is where I want to raise my family. And he did. I do have to say that my husband was born in Mexico. And there his life wasn't as good as mine was here in the United States. At a young age, at 15, and being the oldest of 10, he saw the need to come into the United States for a better life, not only thinking about himself, but his parents and siblings as well. I don't know if I mentioned, he was a 1 of 10, the oldest. Also, I would like to mention that my husband is a person that is very involved in voting when it comes to our voting. Moving forward, his parents and the rest of his family, his siblings, came to the United States, and they knew that education was very important. In the family, we had a business, trucking business, a retired operator engineer, a teacher, a postman, a paralegal. Some work within the school system, just as I do. I'm a bilingual paraprofessional aide in the Fremont City Schools. Because of being bilingual, I have this rewarding job. I help children that are learning the English language. I help them throughout the day. This is also very important for these parents, that their children have a good education just like anyone else. So tonight I stand before you to ask you to please, City Council, consider the resolution of honoring Immigrant Heritage Month and celebrate the contributions that they have done for Fremont. Let's welcome these immigrants to our great town of Fremont. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Robert Knox. I'm a resident of Fremont. I was born right here in Fremont, in the hospital in Fremont. And I'm a descendant of people from European and Mexican ancestry. And so I'd like to ask the committee to approve this resolution supporting our immigrant community so it can go before the City Council. I think it's safe to say that most or all of us are either immigrants or we're descended from immigrants. So our community it's a result of a diverse mix of immigrants from different parts of the world and from different cultures. And by passing a resolution like this, we're honoring our own ancestry, and by supporting this resolution, we're honoring our own community. And so I hope this resolution passes. That's all I have.
Thank you. One more person would like to speak? One more? Not? Councilman Smith, any comments, questions? Anybody know? No? Michael?
Is there anyone here in opposition to this? I meant in opposition. No.
I don't think there was really opportunity for anyone to where to come if there was opposition.
I think at this point, I've canvassed a lot of the members up here and the administration, and I'm not sure we have the votes to add it to the agenda tonight. However, it doesn't mean it can't be added to the next meeting's agenda. Talking with other members of the administration and council, some of the different voices of opposition, kind of interesting. A lot of positivity about the first page of the resolution, a little negativity about the next 2 pages, okay? And if you'd like to further that end of the stick, Chief Wensener has offered to meet out in the hallway after this meeting's over to discuss that portion of the resolution that some of our law enforcement people are opposed to some measures of, okay? I was, for somewhere in the back of my mind, and I don't know if any other council members can remember, that we had talked about these type of resolutions really not being pursued because we're leaving out how many other groups that would like to have recognition. Like this is Pride Month, for example. You know, and that was one of the discussions.
And it's also XYZ ABC month. There's plenty of them, and so my personal opinion is, you know, while I really agree that, you know, immigrants play a huge role in our community, I don't feel like these kinds of resolutions, whether it's a resolution I support or not support, belong within the core responsibilities that are being speak about them.
And then the last comment I've heard for some who when they look at this is that the fear that by publicly doing this, are we targeting ourselves by the powers that be, that we don't like as part of this resolution, even from my opinion. Are we putting a target on our back? And I think that's kind of a legitimate concern. I'm not totally agree, but I understand that. And like I've explained to Sandra back in January at the community forum dealing with this very issue, and there were some questions about safety, the different events and so on, and having been around this for quite a while, our administration has been very, very supportive of actions of this group and many others, okay? You know, they supported Black Lives Matter protests, one in particular that went all the way to Potter Village and back, okay? We've seen people for peace and justice on the corner for the last 3 administrations support. And I can remember a couple instances where we had opposition groups come to the corner and they were there one day and they left. They were not invited back. So one of the opposition arguments is that, you know, we already support these things, but then my comeback is, then let's put it in writing. You know, I think that's a measure. But as of now, I don't think this is over, but I don't think we don't have the votes, I know, to put on tonight's agenda. Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask you a question to clarify. What was it you were referring to about putting a target on our back by the powers that be? What is
By the
that
federal
we're afraid
government.
of?
You've seen the federal government target cities, haven't we? Is that part of the discussions of this resolution? That we've seen the federal government target with ICE communities of immigrants?
Well, to answer, not to insult any one individual, but I think people who say something like that, it's showing a cowardice, like you have to be afraid of your own federal government. And I don't think any of us should be afraid of our federal government by honoring immigrants. It sounds like moral and ethical cowardice to me.
Okay, that's your opinion. I'm not sure I would totally agree with that, but I'm just giving you some of the opposition arguments that they have to this particular resolution. Okay? So, to get this on the agenda, we need 6 of the 7 of us to vote.
Excuse me,
Yes,
what did you mean by that, if we do something like this for us, other people are gonna wanna do the same? But we're all covering as immigrants, not
I
just
know.
one specific.
I know.
And a lot of us are immigrants in
Okay.
here.
Right, right.
His references to resolutions in the past, something I strongly disagree with. I think we should pass this notice like this, but
No,
it's
that's
been an issue before.
Yes. I'm just giving you some of the arguments why there's some opposition. Does that make sense? And that's the past history of
So in answer to your question, in order to get out of the committee, it would take a vote. So if it was a tie, it wouldn't be. Because we would then, if we had to get out of the committee and go to the council with it would take 6 or 7 to add it to the committee.
We can't hear you, Jim.
Oh, you can hear me?
No.
I got a loud voice, I can talk. Don't worry. All right, so I'm going to explain to Mr. Elder, this is all procedural, okay? So understand this is how it works. When I draft ordinances, they have to be to me by Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. If they're not to me by Tuesday at 4:30 p.m., then they take a supermajority to add to the item to the agenda. Because it was given to me at 5:22 p.m. on Tuesday, I couldn't do anything about it. So I couldn't add it. I explained that to Mr. Elder, now I'm explaining it to everybody here on council, or I mean in the audience. Thanks for coming, by the way. Secondly, what will happen is if they took it to a committee vote, there's 4 on the committee. It would take a majority to get it out of the committee, that's 3. If it didn't happen and it ended in a tie, it would die at the committee level. Some of you may have thought, why are you looking at a book? That's why he's looking at a book, so you have the answer in case it happens. Now, if it got out of the committee, it still takes 6 members of the 7 members of council to add it to the agenda. What Mr. Elder's referring to, he doesn't believe would have 6 people that would support that. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is, since it's been drafted already, next time it could be presented. But you have a couple weeks to kind of work together to maybe make it something that everybody can be comfortable with. Obviously, not everything has comfortable level for everybody. I don't mean that. But it means to tone it down, because there was a lot of opposition when I read it as well from other people in the community. And you have to understand that because of the way it was written. And it's not to bash Toledo at all, but it's a larger city, so it has some language that maybe doesn't necessarily totally pertain to Fremont. And if we were to tone that down, I think it would probably be more effective. And I explained that to Mr. Elder, now I'm explaining it to you. Again, I'll present it, we'll do what we need to do because it's done, and that's up to council then to do with it. Keep in mind, I don't vote, all I do is what they call approve as to form, which means I read it and verify it's legally okay to present to council. But I want everybody to understand why it's happening that way, so you don't blame council for that.
Thank you.
Councilman Elder, I got one thing. I'll take my turn now. I want to do a positive here, because each and every one of you that came up here, we all respectfully listened to your support. Now, to me, doesn't that show that Fremont is different than the other ones? Why do we need to change anything? If everybody's got a positive here, I grew up just like Cassandra said. We didn't know color. I was from Helena and Gibsonburg. I came to Fremont. I had never been around African Americans and stuff. Now we're playing football. We're being best of friends, and we still are today. So what I'm saying is, the positives that you guys, each and every one of you that chose to come up here, are positives for this city and going forward. At this point, I think we can, like Mr. Elder said, let's take a look at it. And Mr. Melly said, let's look at the total picture and see if we can condense this down to making everybody even more positive. But we could go on and on with resolutions. We get a number of them, each and every. That's why we voted this, how long ago was it? 2 years ago. So we have to focus on what's going on with our roads and all this other stuff that everybody's on, the administration and everybody. You guys have all been there. We got to get these roads taken care of. And there's a grocery store that Mr. Frost and I and the mayor are talking to some people. I'm on economic development. We're looking at a possibility of getting a grocery store on the east side of Fremont. So, yeah. So, that's my point, and I respect each and every one of you on your statements. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to add another question, maybe it has to do more with procedure. Are we gonna be able to get to see tonight who were the members who were for it and who were opposed to it? And also, I would like to ask the chief, if we could find out, I heard there might be some law enforcement opposition to some parts of it, and I would like a little more clarification about what those parts he was opposed to, so I would actually know it before I make a judgment on it.
We have council starting, so we need to adjourn this meeting, but he offered, I explained, be out in the hallway, give you his points of opposition.
You don't have to do anything. You can table it, you can vote on it, you can let it work, or you go for a vote. Okay? Doesn't mean it's over.
But, yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that we add, that we move it out of committee to the regular session.
Okay. That needs a second.
Second. Councilman Lightfoot made a motion to move it for us to vote on it as a committee. And add it, then we set the agenda, add it to the agenda time.
In order
Maybe
to
not
advance,
tonight,
it
but
takes a
when?
second.
John said.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, now you gotta vote.
Mr. Sleep? No. Mr. Lightfoot? Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's time. That's what I said.
But it's not. Bring this back.
You can, absolutely.
Bring it back.
It's just as it relates to committee tonight. That's all it is.
Yes.
I want everybody to be understanding of what's going on. That's why it's going on.
Myself, Councilman Dees, Councilman Sleep, Councilman Lightfoot.
Two yes?
Councilman Lightfoot, myself. All right, we're gonna adjourn this meeting.
Thanks.
Take 5. Chief, one thing's good.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Briggs? Here. Reese? Here. Addie?
Here.
Elder?
Here.
Bible?
Here.
Reese? Here. Sleep?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know, I'm asking the council, who got copies of the minutes?
I don't know if I recall minutes.
You got the minutes?
I don't know if I recall that. No. I know I got the ordinances.
I think I got it. I didn't print them because it was my computer, my emails were all down to about 4 or 5.
Okay, so I'm just gonna skip that. But we all have a copy of tonight's agenda, correct? Yes. Is there anything to add to the agenda tonight? We can start.
First reading of the ordinance authorizing the safety service director to amend the position classification plan to change the legal secretary position to administrative legal assistant in the planning emergency.
Madam President, may I speak? So most of the council, with the exception of Danielle, I think, had this understanding of what happened. I heard what council said, that we had to be sure it was in the budget, so I said, Mrs. Brown, make sure it was in the budget, and you saw from the email I provided, it was already in the budget. Jenna's taken on a lot more duties after her name goes to vote. If we pass it, she'll be my legal assistant. Basically, because the full-time advocate, which is an advocate, is there, she has to supervise her and take a lot of, so I would ask council to solve all set to go into effect on June 30th, just in case you don't have everybody that time for that. Consider suspending Rule 4 or passing it tonight. I would absolutely take any more questions, but I pretty much explained to that. There's any questions.
I move to suspend Rule 4.
I'll second it. Okay, suspend Rule 4, being no further discussion. Any further questions about suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Reese?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Lightfoot?
Yes.
Reese? Sleep?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
I appreciate you making that.
I appreciate you guys telling me what you were thinking. You
And
know,
I'll
we all
work
work
it out.
together. Thank you very much.
I second.
I second. Jenny, second. Jenny, seconds. Any further questions for? Okay, roll call.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Lightfoot?
Yes.
Reese? Sleep?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, council.
First reading of resolution conducting a 5-year review and amending section 4.0 of the application for the designated outdoor refreshment area. Oh, excuse me.
On the description,
Let
right?
me try it again. Okay. First reading of the ordinance to authorize the expenditure and direct the safety service director to enter into a contract with Buckeye Excavating and Construction Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $221,110 for the South Washington sanitary sewer project and declaring an emergency.
This is a sewer line project that we purchased at the sewer house in Iowa. If there's any question you want to ask, just real quick. I would ask this federal board, just so we get if we suspend Rule 4, then we can decide.
I second.
Danielle Briggs, seconds. Any comments or questions about the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Elder?
Yes.
Lightfoot?
Yes.
Reese? Sleep?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Done.
Danielle Briggs, seconds. Any further questions or comments on this?
Not really looking for these items. They said yes. I have yes.
I will say that I'm good at the process of this.
And thank you for all your work on this. I know this decisions are very happy.
Okay, roll call.
Lightfoot?
Yes.
Reese? Sleep?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
First reading of the resolution conducting a 5-year review and amending section 4.0 of the application for the designated outdoor refreshment area, DORA, attached and including continued operation in a specified public area of Fremont.
Madam President. So Dora, after we reviewed for 5 years, that the cities say, yes, we want to continue it, or no, we don't want to continue it, according to Mr. Gross and my read of the community, everybody kind of wants to continue it. The only change we're making is we're modifying the hours because then there's included farmers markets in the morning. I believe that they want to go a little bit later in the evening.
In the weekdays, we try to do it.
Yeah, so, because they want to start doing this, and there's no emergency clause because we discussed it, kind of hard to say that. So we didn't want to put the emergency clause on it. So, I think we could suspend Rule 4 tonight. We already had our public hearing, we already announced it was going to be today and all that, so we should be.
We want to get this place.
Yep.
Downtown.
Yeah, you want me just, that's the reason for it. I know we had our meeting, just to reiterate it, because it was brought up the extra hour. So the idea is the start time now on the weekend is 11 a.m. We'd like to start it at 9 a.m. to incorporate some of the farmers markets and things like that in that.
Weekdays, the current start time is 5. We would like to start that at 3 p.m. because we have a lot of different new things like our sip and shops that are very, very popular, and that was a request from some of the merchants. Currently, the end time is 11 p.m. We would like to extend that till midnight for things like car shows and amphitheater concerts. A lot of them end at 11, and by the time people are walking around and so forth. So those are the changes, and the request to obviously continue it and then have it in place by the June 29th, which is the first one. Okay, thank you.
They won't be.
Okay, okay, but still, that's.
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Right.
Sorry. Wait a minute.
I guess I'll just correct this. I think we may have to amend within the I do, but I'm not offering that amendment right now. Under the land use section in the back, it looks like the strand is missing.
Nobody told me this, I didn't.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know. That's why I'm saying I may offer an amendment.
Sure.
So we have an answer to that, if I may interject. So if you're looking at, that was amended already.
I thought it was too.
It was already amended. If you're looking at like an old brochure or something like that, because the brochures have been updated, like electronically and on the website, but not hardcore. But I believe Strand was added.
No, I think they are. I'm just saying that attached to the resolution is
the incorrect parameters.
because I think the Strand maybe didn't have a license.
That's
yet.
exactly
So
what happened.
They didn't get it until like
When the
2030.
council passed this 5 years ago, they did not have their liquor license, they were in the process of getting it. So we approved it, they have since gotten the liquor license and then added it, and that was.
yeah, no, I know, but it's not. It's not in the document that we're
That's
about
the
to vote
original
on.
application, just to correct.
And then secondly, I know we included Anthony's, which then closed and now it's reopened. And so I just want to make sure that we're adopting something that we have the right legal name of the establishment. Well, maybe we can still
Still the same.
Okay, all right. So those were just the two things I caught. So I don't know if we should offer that amendment, if we think it's okay. Just thought of it.
With the other these, it's the same name and it's still the same.
It's already been approved. I think it's
That's why I'm asking.
because this is more just like, are we changing something?
Right.
We can't, we couldn't add an establishment in the ordinance that we approved. That would take a little.
That would be a
This is
whole.
all-
Yeah,
this
So
all-
I asked that question, we were adding anything or not.
This is all within the-
No, I'm not saying that, I'm saying it's missing.
Right.
Okay.
She said something.
Correct documents online. I mean, check me on that, I send the link out, I'm pretty sure. I know the
If
brochure.
you want to make an amendment to add those two.
Yeah,
to be
you
sure,
wanna
that's
just do it,
fine.
I would rather
Yeah.
do that as a safeguard if that makes you feel.
Well, I just,
Yeah,
protecting it.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
I would agree.
Well, my comment, I mean, I don't disagree at all, is if you add establishments already within the board area without any amendment, I'm saying it's already in.
Just do it safely because we're actually reviewing it and we want to make the changes now. We're doing now. Doesn't mean you can't review it during 5 years again. You can. We're allowed to do that.
we said, you agree that Anthony was the,
Right, understand.
so it looks like the only establishment missing within the physical boundary would be insurance. So I would move to amend under section 3.1 to add the Strand and the two lane so I just moved that we add the Strand backstage lounge to the list of establishments listed under section 3. Anthony's already there.
I'll second.
We may have the time to really amend those rules all.
That's all in there.
It's all in there. This is just an amendment to the actual ordinance.
Reese?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Idle?
Yes.
I'll make the motion. 4.
I have second.
call. Sleep,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
East,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Lidle,
Yes.
Reese.
Any further comments or questions from the public? Roll call.
Briggs,
Yes.
East,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Lidle,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Sleep.
Yes.
First reading of a resolution authorizing the approval and issuance of a warrant for payment of $5,623.00 to the Sandusky County Sheriff and declaring an emergency.
Madam President, this has to do with dispatch operations. This is actually a bill that we didn't get to from the sheriff's office. Chief wants to read this. This was the agreed upon, agreed upon price. Very comfortable.
I'll make questions.
Roll call. Reese,
Yes.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Lidle,
Yes.
Reese, Sleep,
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes. Any further questions or comments?
I do have a question now. This is for the 1 year, for a year.
No, this was something separate, we had to, we had a new cabin tool and records system that was installed for everybody in town. And we paid our portion, and this was additional that was added on later that we didn't get billed for the fees. So we may have that for a little bit, that's what we had earlier. I'm sure you can clarify it, you know, something. That's pretty much what it is.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Addie,
Yes.
Elder,
Yes.
Lidle,
Yes.
Reese, Sleep,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Reese.
Yes.
At this moment, I'd like to talk about our era for the parade. I got in touch with Andy Marlock, got a return from Vanguard, and I got a returning now from Bruce Keller. Students of Vanguard, I don't know which students in particular, but they've designed a float. It's all done, it's all decorated for the parade. And it has 9/11 and Hurricane Katrina representation. The first black president, along with COVID, iPhones, and social media apps. He says the students were very careful and they filled every space on the floor. So I think this is really exciting.
That's really wonderful.
And then I talked to, well, then we have e-scooters. I have a granddaughter and she's got 5 or 6 friends and we're going to decorate their scooters with patriotic stuff and they're going to be in our and then the Fremont Community Theater is celebrating its 72nd season. And they will have a truck and trailer promoting, it's a trailer or maybe a float. And it's depicting the play Come From Away. It's a true story about 7,000 airline passengers stranded at Gander, Newfoundland after the 9/11 attack on the small town of Lebanon. So that's for their 72nd year, that's how they're starting out their season with that play. And then I also called another one that had signed up and I left him a message. The other thing is Danielle is free to carry one side of the flag that was going to be in front of us, and I didn't know if anybody else in the city council or anybody in the public would want to carry the other side.
What's the flag say?
It announces the era.
Oh, it announces the era?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be on-
I'll do that with you.
It'll be on a pole, it'll be on one, and then it's probably Okay. Did you guys have any comments about anything for the parade? Okay, well, that's what I know about the parade. Well, and our mission, our statement was Fremont is on the move. You want to do the main reports? Maybe I'll start.
Thank you. Continuing in this vein, registrations for the parade are still open, so contact Tony Bischoff at the rec center to get signed up. If you have an organization and you would like your era represented, or you can pick an era, just contact Cody. Along with the rec center, the community calendar is active, up to date, and live online, so check out what's happening this summer at the rec center. The pool is also up and running. They did all of their annual maintenance, fixed a couple of things with the pool, and so now it's open. And so that's exciting. It's super hot outside, so get out to the rec center and just
To add to that, I saw a cool video that Cody did with his daughter that was posted on social media about the pool.
Angie Reese, Citizen Service Committee. Okay, Christine Reese, Community Partnership Committee.
GL Cap still is posting that they have availability for those that need maybe home repairs or things like that for their home. There is financial guidelines in place for that, but they're still posting that on their website.
Then the audience fees and utilities.
Nothing to report.
Let's ask one question about the streets, actually the streets. What is the determining factor on whether or not it's tax on what case? No, not you, I'm just
Explain.
So there are, ODOT does have a book on file. We're not obligated by one policy. Normally what happens is somebody requests it, we'll assemble a meeting, which Mr. Robinson will not and we'll discuss it. If studies are needed at that intersection, traffic counts are needed at that intersection, then we'll make our determination. It's primarily driven by if you lived in Franklin, on Franklin somewhere, and that's where you live, you probably would lobby for a stop sign being put on a situation. So it's driven by
the neighbors, and I understand that. But, I understand that you just put the one up on you, which is great, but your determining factor for that was because of the West Buckeye School.
Yeah, that was definitely a fact. Schools in their school actually asked for it, so we went out and we started it and observed, and they're right, there's a lot of teachers and students that cross over there different times of the day. It's not like a traditional school where everybody shows up at 8 a.m. and leaves. They're kind of in and out all over. So they actually had a couple of new misses and we asked for it, so thank God they really got hurt.
Okay, I just was wondering about that, how that was determined.
Madam President, I do have a couple of comments. I want to say that East Avenue is beautiful, and it's great to know we're getting roads fixed, slowly but surely. And also, I'm going to say that Hayes Avenue is part of Historic Route 6. And if you've seen the historic 20 signs in Bellevue, we have 3 Historic Route 6 signs that will be going up. So that's all.
Buckland was also finished. Buckland was also finished.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you haven't noticed yet, new car wash is up and running. They've got a great deal, like $10 a month for like 2 or 3 months, and you can get the premium $35 wash. And so I strongly suggest, I'm a member now, and been through a few times. $10 a month.
For 35, who in the right mind would pay $35 for car wash?
I don't know, somebody.
Not me.
That's for the month, though, right?
Yeah,
That's.
No, it's not 35 for one time.
No,
No.
Oh.
I'm building up.
Okay.
But, no, they have indoor vacuum system, and it's very nice if you look right. So, again, you get the other corner fixed up, it's going to be a nice corner when you come in from the west and Fremont.
Okay,
That's all I have.
thank you. Ken Paul?
And the reason why I say this is because I saw the PTSD for a while. I never really have to feel something and I always like to throw this out there because I like to tell, I think I would feel constant. I tell everybody, if you know somebody who you think is suffering from PTSD, I am more than willing to go wherever I need to go to help them. I myself am so it's definitely out there. If you know somebody that is in need of those type of services, or veterans like myself, I'm really willing to help.
It sounds like a good thing. Yeah, so same with my husband, so there's help out there.
The other thing I want to bring up is roads are great, but I did want to say that these roads were getting done. We wouldn't be getting them done without the hard work and all the financing. The mayor's office, so these are all done, grants, or the majority of it is paid for with grant money.
Okay, thank you.
Wait,
We're gonna get out of here early.
Jim Melly?
I'm talking about that.
Okay, Ally Elder?
I just would like to say that as a resident of Lee County, I'm very happy with how the roads turn out. I do want to make a public announcement that there are 2 new beautiful pedestrian crosswalks at the corner of the East Presidential Center, on the corner of Washington and Cleveland at the bottom of the hill, and Cleveland and Fifth Avenue at the top of the hill. And to alert cars that pedestrians in the crosswalk at the legal right of way. I was nearly hit this morning, and
It wasn't me.
and just heard everyone that we are new crosswalks, and the city has done a great job with our pedestrian access, because we do have a lot of walkers in the community, and just as Fremont grows with, we have this wonderful bike path, we have great bike crossings throughout the town. We've done such a great job for transportation that is not an engine-based transportation, that I hope that we will continue this really forward focus of making our community accessible in a lot of different ways. Thank you.
Thank you. I do. I will be brief, but I hope there are any more flyers. All right. So, we just talked about the 4th of July. Hot off the press, 4th of July flyers for that. And then I already gave you amphitheater stickers. If anyone needs any more, I have more. But this adds on to it. Lots of stuff going on. If the public needs any amphitheater stickers, I have them. We're having our first talk right now at the amphitheater. It's going very well. Tonight at the amphitheater. And this is the continuation of the farmers markets and car shows. This is our car show July 4th. Obviously, 4th of July is the epicenter of the 250th America's celebration. We have the parade in the morning, and then we have the car show, and then we have the concert, and then of course we have the fireworks. So this is a nice, lovely flyer I wanted to get out to all of you. And Ms. Reeves keeps me on track. The rat cards for the farmers market will be ready next week. So you will have those by the next city council meeting. So just a little snapshot. I know I talked last meeting about the schedule and so forth, but does anyone have any questions? Nope. Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Yes. I never know how much to share and what you want to hear. So yes, we had a lovely donation from Moonshine Entertainment for 6 brand new picnic tables that were delivered yesterday to be used at the amphitheater. We'll have canopies put up later. I think it's going to happen this weekend or Monday. The idea was we don't have enough picnic tables. And Steve at the Parks Department and everything is always moving those picnic tables around all over the city for my events. And quite honestly, I could use 20 picnic tables every single weekend. So with the donation of Sean and Tom Kern of Moonshine Entertainment, they had specially made, nicely able to move, nice picnic tables that were delivered yesterday at the amphitheater that will stay at the amphitheater to be used. They're more easily to be moved around. If a renter or someone at the amphitheater doesn't want them, they're easily able to be moved again or stacked, something like that, but they will stay at the amphitheater all year round. And it just helps add to it. And like tonight, people were down there eating dinner and some drinks before the talk. And again, we'll have canopies up on them and everything. And there'll be a plaque that says it was from them, the restaurant group, Moonshine Entertainment. So yes, another lovely addition for that. And I can't say enough about Steve Stutz. Him and I darn near meet every single day to talk about landscaping and making it look beautiful. So the kickoff was Memorial Day, but we continue to add to the amphitheater and make it more beautiful. So thank you for that. Yes. Then those picnic tables can be used elsewhere or. Good question. Anything else? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chief Bunting?
Yes,
Do you have anything tonight?
Tomorrow our job application closes. We have 38 applicants.
Wow.
One more to tie the record from our last hiring session. Very happy with the turnout. A ton of great candidates in close 29. The next steps at the stage will be a self-service written test, followed by interviews, and hopefully we're hiring some of the certified officers that are applying. So that's great news. Upside with that. Our e-bike and bicycle safety campaign continues. We encourage all city residents to register their bicycles from the Fremont Police Department, which is a requirement by city ordinance. And that includes free registration.
Scooters, does that include?
Anything on 2 wheels, we can register scooters as well.
Okay.
You can register your truck, absolutely. Any bicycle, you can register a tricycle too, or a scooter. And that will help us get a bike or a tricycle back to the original owner to take the serial number and apply registration stickers to bicycle. We're also doing pop-up education centers, or sessions, Saturday at the Walmart parking lot and Monday at the rec centers, and then 1:40 p.m. on Monday from 1 to 4 p.m. on Saturday at the Walmart parking lot.
And I also know the resource officers at the middle school and high school work a lot on the education process with e-bikes, videos, one-on-one sessions.
Banks, traffic, safety devices, not riding on a sidewalk and just speeding across roads, all kinds of things we're working on. And I would not call it an ambush. Fremont police officers are outside schools interacting with kids as schools release. We're in the midst of Operation Smooth Summer. We have partnered with Tropical Smoothie Cafe, and they're so kindly generating an enormous file of 12-ounce free smoothies from Tropical Smoothie. This is a thing that's sought after, myself included. Tropical Smoothie is amazing. just have to answer a bicycle safety question. So, adults are eligible.
Give us a sample question.
It's up to the officer. You might get a more difficult question. And I think that's all that I have.
Chief,
Yes.
what would be bicycle?
So bicycle patrols are at major events and some other discretionary patrols.
And the other question, I could fill out an application to be director, right?
We get too old.
Well,
We amended the ordinance, I can't remember how much we
there
did.
is no age requirement. You
No.
could fill out an application.
Yeah,
Everyone-
we
it's
amended
fire-
it.
fire
Everyone
department.
wants to
Put the
be
hover
police
around in,
officer.
Jen.
For all you giggler.
We lowered the age, and I think we put no cap on it.
There is.
Well, here's your first candidate for the
Right
right
now,
Again, get started now, then.
Anybody from the audience want to speak? Come up and state your name. At the podium. Yeah. Talking to you.
I'm Sharon Mitchell. I'm here about Orchard Park. This is a petition that over 325 people signed last June, July, and August. I would like to turn it over to City Council. That's not all. And then I have a presentation. Some of you, I've talked to all of you, or most of you, at one time or another, but I have a packet here for everybody. Bob, I need to know, do I give you a copy or do I give Stephanie a copy? Okay. So that's what these are. And then- Okay, I'll start. Good evening, everybody else, city members and city council. I'm Sharon Mitchell. I'm a neighbor at 1300 Howden Street. So my front yard is Orchard Park. I've been facing it since 1980. I'm grateful for the chance to speak briefly and your willingness to review the packet I'm having to you tonight. Why am I here? Okay, I researched this project. First of all, I saw the downtown thing. Carol was here, and then Bob came over to the house, and then he said that I want to be part of the committee. So my husband and I running. But I researched this project, canvassed neighbors and park users, and collected more than 300 signatures from people who use and love the park. As I wrote in the packet, I and hundreds of others want Orchard Park preserved on the history of this small town, non-commercial, quiet, tree, and green grass park. Main core concerns in a minute. Now everything else is a background, what I'm reading, but everything, and I made it easy. There's a page like this, okay, and every time I explain something, I said an exhibit, it's color coded. So all of these pages are color coded for you, so it's quick reference. Every time you see a color in my statement, you can flip back and you can make a reference to it. Okay, preserve safety and sight lines. Keep play areas open and visible so parents and caregivers can watch children at all times. And don't decrease the safety. Okay, protect the tree canopy and natural drainage. Replace dead trees with mature seasoned trees and avoid excessive paving that increases runoff. And if you wanted to look for the item number 3 is the one that actually relates to the petition. Okay, third, avoid in the park vehicle access and wide paved paths. Perpendicular street parking outside the park is safer and preserves more spaces from the proposed parallel parking and in-park lot. And from that is the parents have said their kids get out of the car on both sides and they just don't have to worry about it when it's perpendicular. When it's parked like this, then they have to be careful, when their kids get out. Keep the park neighborhood focused. This is a 100% residential area. Propose large pavilions, session stands, and event-focused features with changing the park's character. What this packet shows. This packet documents the timeline of our meetings, emails, and the petition results. And it includes suggested alternatives such as green grass percolating. there's a packet in there that says I've talked to the architect extensively. This is just one example. And it's used all over the United States instead of pavement. Grass, you have to build underneath it. You put this on top, and then you put your grass on top and you mow it. It's easy for wheelchairs, it's easy for it's by anything. And it is used, it's more modern than concrete pavement. That's what, this is the smaller, there's a deeper one for heavy trucks, but the architect has all of that. So that's called grass mesh percolated versus runoff from sidewalks. Okay, individual playground pads, instead of one big pad, have each play area and its own pad. Mowing can easily go around them, you know, you can design that way. I say that because so many people do not want to go to Richard Park or Roger Young because the older kids run over the younger ones. I guess even bikes weave through there. And they said, can it be safer? If you're going to expand Richard Park, and now this is in this material, make it safe for the kids. If it's one big pod, people are going to run, kids are going to ride it. Oh my gosh, there's going to be lots of electric scooters run onto it. So if you have individual pods, it's safer for the children. In this, I also say, okay, and that obviously preserving mature trees, and that was clearly addressed. And as I note in the packet, there is no question that Richard Park has been neglected and needs improvement, but a full remodel is not the solution to this historic tree and green park. A clear ask. Please read this packet I've given you. If you have questions or want clarifications about how I said, why I said, I've written my name and information on top of it. And then, this is what I'm going to read. It's contrary thoughts on the proposed renovations at Richard Park. Historic Richard Park is located in a 100% residential, quiet neighborhood, and also the front yard to over 40 homes and hundreds of neighborhood children to play there. Green space will be reduced considerably. The proposed 30 by 90-foot pavilion, the shelter house, would be located in the central green space where children play. I had proposed that this is Richard Park, here's the restrooms. Turn it this direction so that you can expand. As children need more things, you can expand more things. Putting a pavilion right in the middle of that eliminates expanding the middle of the park. It's for safety for the children. Located in the green space where children play. It will be 3 times the size of each of the 2 smaller existing shelter houses. The central green space would contain a paved 18-car parking lot with a new paved access road. Previously, adult activities and car traffic was near the south side of the park near Richard, not endangering or restricting children's play. Additionally, the plan calls for a paved sidewalk around the park, as well as 8-foot very wide paved path snaking through the entire park for walking, biking, and scootering. A considerable amount of park's CO2 sequestering beautiful green space will be lost. What this implies for the community, area youth, dog walkers, animals, and canopy life has not really been considered or measured. Percolating grass mesh should be considered for walkways and parking instead of park pavement. Surface water problems will be compounded. More pavement means more runoff. A retention ditch of any kind will attract children. It will not adequately handle the rainwater because the park is located over bedrock, which prevents rapid percolation. To further complicate matters, this is interesting, okay, the sewer and drainage system around the park is obsolete. Previously, the water-absorbing green spaces allowed shallow ponds to form throughout the park until the water naturally is absorbed by percolation, grass, trees, or evaporation. These temporary ponds are not a drowning hazard. Indeed, children stop through them and ride bikes through them for pleasure. And finally, safety for the children, who are the principal park users, is paramount. The direct line of sight of children watching their children playing in the park would be interrupted with a large pavilion and cars parking in the middle of the park. Leaving rain to absorb naturally and trees instead of creating water hazards is safe. An 8-foot very wide paving and wiping trail will be an addition to to pedaled and motorized vehicles to race in a nature park setting which I'm sure Cyrus Burchard never envisioned in his tree park. In closing, this park is where our children and our grandchildren play. We want improvements that enhance, not decrease, safety, preserve the trees, and keep the park's historic neighborhood character intact. Thank you for time and reviewing this packet. I welcome your call. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Pam, come on up. Come with you. I thought this was done already with the virtual thing. I thought I saw a rendering of it already. I thought it was a done deal, is it?
Yeah,
I'm not getting it, okay.
rendering of
So that's what, it is what it is, right? So are you guys tearing up what the Kiwanis put there, the little playground?
Wrong part.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, no,
Virtual
no,
Park.
yeah.
No, it's not, I'm talking about
No, it's
Virtual Park.
1999.
Oh.
No.
No, I live down the street from
No,
Virtual Park.
that playground is gonna stay.
Okay.
It's gonna get repaired and fixed up, and then new pieces added to it.
Okay. And they're doing new bathrooms? But there is a road gonna go through the middle of it? For real?
No.
Oh, no?
So there is a proposed parking lot in the rendering, and it is intended,
Go ahead, I'm sorry, Bob.
so that was based on, so we formed a committee of people that live in the neighborhood to help guide this along with the architect. And the committee thought, well, for handicap purposes, safety purposes, that parking lot that, that allows you to get into the park is one, there's 4 handicap spots, there's a turnaround in there for safety, equipment control. There's a net, part of it runs along the side of the shelter house so you can load and unload. With the way, and we had a parking analysis completed by Thomas Porter Architect that said, hey, it's safer to go to parallel parking, and if you go to parallel parking, you regain green space. And so 87% of that park remains green space. And so it was really done with safety in mind, mobility limitations in mind, and then as far as the drainage, there's a proposed rain garden as part of the plan that would soak up a lot of the moisture, and our city engineers are going to put maybe maybe 2 drains in there.
Is the tennis court going bye-bye?
No, it's staying.
And the basketball
Basketball
court?
court's staying.
It's staying? Okay. And get rid of the dead trees? I walk my granddog up there, so I wanna know.
Yeah, the plan is to take down every dead tree, and for every tree that's removed, plant 2 new ones.
And it's my understanding that you're just gonna trim branches, you're not gonna cut trees that are
Well, the dead trees.
Dead ones you gotta get rid of.
Dead ones have.
That's totally dead, because there's a lot of them over there that aren't dead. They have a dead branch, but they're very
Oh, wow.
healthy trees.
Yeah, but there's a lot of dead,
That's
there's what,
not-
7 dead trees left over there? 7?
There's some pretty large.
I don't know, but I
Yes, one of them they
I
threw
can
down.
count them, Jamie, next time I take my granddog for a walk. Tell them to stop by the office and tell me how many I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Jim Weiss, 1106 Burchard Avenue, born and raised. Also, in full disclosure, the Vice President of the Burchard Neighborhood Historical Association. I guess, first of all, Chief, that was a very good thing you did, being able to put yourself out there, so much respect for that. So that's not an easy thing to do, to put yourself out there like that, but that was very nice. And thanks for calling out the PTSD month. I had a friend of mine, I want to say it's about 10 years. We lost him ultimately to that. So that's a big thing, so thank you for bringing that up. When I moved back, I moved away for school for a little bit, and I moved back to Fremont in 2003. I brought my wife Christine with me. So I increased Fremont by 1, and we ultimately increased Fremont by 2 more with our daughters. So we moved, in 2003, we moved to Jefferson. And I would go out, and I'm kind of like my dad, I like to mow the lawn, so I was out mowing the lawn, and when I was done and looking over my domain, I looked over at the park, and I just started to think, this is an 03, 04, like, what that park could ultimately be. And in my mind, that long ago, I'm thinking about that. So here recently, when those plans came up, and I saw those plans for the very first time, it's like, check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. All of the things that I see in that plan ultimately are things that I was thinking about back then, and then some. A lot of just the technical work or the industrial work to it. I think some of the things that we're doing in that park, we're going to be doing in that park, are much needed. It's us being good stewards. I can think of times when my wife and I have been over at the park, and all of a sudden we heard something crash, and a limb, if you remember a limb, big limb came down, and there was kids over in the area. We've also had recently people up on the stage walking that their leg went through, and they cut themselves. So there's those kinds of things. So it leaves us open to, we have legal liability. So we have to be good stewards in order to make sure that we take care of that neighborhood park and do what we can to pay it forward to the next 80 years of people that are going to. And if you missed you did a great presentation, Bob, and thank you for not saying too much tonight and shortening this up. So I'll take over for that. So, and Danny, looking forward to seeing you hopefully on the police force. But pigs fly, right? Anyways, so we got that. So looking at those different things, I really think that what we're doing in that park, counterpoint to that, I think it needs to happen. I think it's something that's kind of a long time coming. And I appreciate your time tonight. So
thank you very much. Anyone else?
Mine's real short. Cassandra Tucker, 1134 South Street, Fremont, Ohio. Just wanted to share with you our Juneteenth event, which is going to be on Saturday, June 20th. I have something in my bag that's filled with all my papers. Saturday, June 20th at Roger Young Park. And we're there from 1 to 5, and we hope that you will stop by and support us.
Do you have flyers for that?
I did, but something spilled. I'll have to email it. No, really, I have like 30 flyers with red ink on them, and I have red ink over my dress. So I don't know. So, and these flyers are from the UPS store, so they cost us some money. But anyway, I will email you the flyers out if that's okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I would like, for the meeting, I would like to read the petition. I mentioned it, and you each have a copy. Can I just read the paragraph at the top of it? Because he's videoing, and I'd like if anybody's watching it to see what it was. Okay?
I don't see the petition.
It's Exhibit 3, which is pink. If you flip it back and you see a pink. Okay. We citizens who use Burchard Residential Park petition the city of Fremont to keep the grounds, trees, and green. Keep parks safe for families and children. Keep all adult structures and activities, including narrow paths or sidewalks, near the edges of the park. No buildings near the park's center. No French ditch or drain. Let shallow seasonal water stand. Safe, low cost, and maintenance. Keep perpendicular parking along the east and west sides of the street, paved and curved. No in the park parking. Don't endanger children at play, the park's main users. No alcohol consumption ever. Okay, so that was the petition that was signed. And at the time that we had them, I know I personally, when I talked to people in the park, I said, if there's any part of this petition that you're slightly uncomfortable with, I do not want your signature. The signatures are not voted registers. I was not looking to put this on a ballot or anything. I just wanted people to be able to feel free to express themselves. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I move to Madam President, I just have one comment, a short one. I just wanted to say, and basically to Ken Frost, I think the parks, one of the things I do every day, I always drive through Roger Young, around the parks, Walsh Park, they look wonderful. They do. The mowing is great, and it is.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. I'll let Steve and
Good job
and
to
our team
Steve
know.
Stutz and his group.
Yeah.
Can I just bring one thing, a couple things up real quick? Because I talked more to Denny. I think I saw Paul's son Ethan was fourth at the state, fifth at the state meet pole vault.
And we're taking a group of 18 kids down to the state meet this weekend from Fremont Ross. One of them includes the Division II record holder in hurdles, Mason, England.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
that's pretty amazing. So we had a celebration 2 years ago, maybe we get to do another one.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Oh,
And thank you, Chief Bunsinger, for manning the hallway. You survived okay?
I was surrounded.
I know.
Lots of great points and good conversation.
Good, well, thank you. I appreciate that. During the LRO meeting, he offered to go out in the hallway to discuss issues that the law enforcement had with the resolution. And he willingly did that. I appreciate that.
Turned into issues in general.
It goes with, sorry.
It was a great conversation.
Okay, thank you. I'll publicly say thank you.
Okay, we have a motion
Sleek and
by Jim
Michael.
Sleek to adjourn, and Chris
Yes,
Leibert
did.
seconds.
Elder,
Yes.
Libo,
Yes.
Reese, Sleek,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Adam.
Yes.
And yes.
Weese.
Yes.
804, 803.
804.